Testing, testing. Mike, welcome back. Uzui, welcome to the stream. How's it going today? Give me just a minute or two and I will get switched over. Alright, and there we are. Oh god, I don't know why the Botrix chat box is here. Shut up, Botrix, go away. Oh no, well, I'm sorry to hear you're in pain. Are you... No, you did a 10-hour stream? You did a 10-hour stream? Oh my god, that's crazy. I don't think I could do over 4 hours, to be perfectly honest with you. That is crazy, oh my god. Did you just finish, or did you do it earlier? If you just finished, you should probably get some rest. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. Your 4th 10-hour stream? Oh my god, that is... wow. You have a lot more stamina than I do, that's for sure. Usually after like an hour or two, I start getting antsy and I need to get up and stretch, get some water. Oh man. I'm not someone who can like sit still for very long. Oh, but you got 145? That's great. That's great. I've heard that doing longer streams are better for gaining followers, so that's good. I'm glad to hear it. Wow. Yeah, I mean, man, 10 hours, that's crazy though. Did you at least take like breaks? Did you eat anything, or were you just going off of like your own stamina? Oh, did I reblog the post? Okay, yes I did. And the spammers are here. You didn't? Oh no, get some rest, get some food please. Go get some food. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's like... oh, that's crazy. No breaks at all, huh? Well, I mean, you have more stamina than I do. That's for sure. Oh goodness gracious. Alright, so let's see here. Didn't get any drinks or food except for the food your mom gave you. Well, at least you had someone who was looking out for you. That's good. Oh man. It's strange. Just like a few years ago, I feel like I could play games for like hours and hours on end, and now I feel like I need to stop after like a couple hours or something. Okay, so let's see what I watched this week. So this is going to be another movie zatsudan. I didn't really watch as many movies this week as I was planning on watching, but I did watch a few, mostly on Netflix, and I think one other one as well. So let's get into the first movie here. Where's the poster? Yes. So this is the movie, well, it's not the first movie I watched this week, but it's the one I want to talk about first. Doing 10-hour streams, no breaks. Even when I had food, I kept going. Well, that's good. At least you have the energy to do that. So this movie, it's on Netflix, Netflix US. I don't know if it's available in Netflix in other countries, but it's called Hellhole. Apparently the original Polish name, it's a Polish movie, I should mention, it's a Polish movie. The original name was Last Supper, but I guess they renamed it to Hellhole in English because there's already an English movie called Last Supper. But this is a 2022 movie. It came out last year. I'm not sure when it came out last year. Let me double check here. It says October 26, 2020. Oh, but okay. It originally came out in 2020, but then it was released on Netflix. Wait. Release date October 26, 2020. It's a 2022 Polish horror film. Okay, there's a little bit of a disconnect there. Let's see. So, oh, my notes. Let me get my notes. Oh god, I'm so disorganized. There we go. So I'll give you a quick synopsis of this movie when we start. So I wrote down an undercover cop. Oh, you know what? Let me put up the spoiler warning. Let me put up the spoiler warning. Yeah, there we go. So, an undercover cop pretending to be a priest comes to a remote sanatorium/monastery. His motive: to find several women who have gone missing in southern Poland. He soon discovers the monastery is fucked as shit. The monks discover that he is not a priest, he's a undercover cop. So they torture him by feeding him nasty food. It's a pretty bad way to torture someone, I think. I mean, bad as in like I would not like eating nasty food, so it would be effective against me. It would be effective against me. It seemed to be quite effective against him. Anyway, let me read you the plot on Wikipedia too, just because my notes are very short and brief. So in 1957, a priest in a church attempts to murder a baby that bears a unique scar on his chest, referring to it as the spawn of evil. Before the priest can continue, the militia, the police, arrive and shoot the priest. That is the opening scene of the movie. So, 30 years later, the guy who is the baby from the opening scene of the movie meets the prior at the sanatorium / monastery where women thought to be possessed by the devil are brought for exorcism. And it's shown that the guy is the same guy in the beginning of the film because he has like a mark on his chest that is the same mark as the baby at the beginning of the film has. So there's that. Hold on a sec. So he witnesses an exorcism. Oh, hello, Izuko. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. And he basically witnesses an exorcism, and that kind of freaks him out. But later, after snooping around the monastery, he finds out that the exorcisms are fake. They're basically faking all of the exorcisms. And then, as it turns out, afterwards, they kill the people that they exorcise. So, you know, pretty fucked. So basically, later down the line in the movie, some stuff happens. There's only one jump scare in the movie. Really, there's only one jump scare, and it got me. It did get me. It got me. It spooked me. It was not a bad jump scare. I'm not a jump scare fan, but that one did get me. So I can appreciate that. But it's mostly a very suspenseful and creepy movie. It's definitely not like, ooh, big scary coming to get you. It's very like, weird things happen. Weird and gross things happen. And they make you feel uncomfortable. So, later down the line in the movie, he finds out that he has the mark of the beast, more or less. One of the monks, who is kind of like, let's call him a traitor for now, basically takes him into like the secret library and is like, shows him this this book, which I thought was like the 9th, I don't know, how many Dead Sea Scrolls are there? I don't know, I made a joke to myself that it was like the 9th Dead Sea Scroll, but I can't remember how many Dead Sea Scrolls there are, but it was like some kind of ancient ass book. And he's basically like telling him the prophecy, like there's this evil guy, and if you do this ritual, the evil guy will turn into the devil and bring like terror to the world. And then the policeman, he goes, okay, what does that have to do with me? And then, you know, the priest is like, well, you're the guy. You are the chosen one. So basically he finds out that he is the evil chosen one, and the monks are using him to fulfill their evil prophecy. And unfortunately, he tries to escape. Well, fortunately for him, he has someone to help him escape. Unfortunately, the person who helps him escape betrays him. And he is basically captured by the monks, who do the evil cult thing where they all don red robes and they gather and they chant. And they're like, oh, we've captured him. You are going to be the chosen one and we are going to complete the ritual. And so what happens next is probably one of the unintentionally funniest scenes I have ever witnessed. So they do the ritual, and basically what the ritual was is that he was supposed to be fed the flesh of sinners, 7 sinners who who've each done specific sin, which, as we find out, are basically, shall I say, the women who were taken into the asylum. They were women who were supposedly guilty of committing a specific sin, so they basically forced him to cannibalize them, which was the gross food that they tortured him with earlier. And then they forced him to drink the blood of I can't say that word on Twitch. They forced him to drink the blood of a woman who has not engaged in intercourse, shall we say. He has to drink the blood of that kind of person. And so they're standing around and they're waiting for him to like become the devil, right? They're waiting for him to transform into like the big evil guy. And then like nothing happens. They're all just like standing there. They all partook in the blood. So they're all like, oh, we're going to be the servants of the devil. We're going to be the servants of evil, and we will, you know, they're like evil monks basically. And so they do it and nothing happens. And it's a very dramatic scene, which just immediately goes to them standing around and like whispering to each other like, we did everything right? He's like, yeah, but the book wasn't really a set of instructions. It was just a guide. And so they're just standing there trying to figure out like what they did wrong. They're like, he's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy. Then why didn't the ritual work? And so they're basically just say like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna call it a day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is after they do the big dramatic ritual of drinking the blood and sacrificing and all that crap. So it was very funny to me. So, you know, they know that the police are going to be looking for him because he was on an undercover mission. So they kill him and they throw him into a hole, which they claim to be the entrance to the underworld. They toss him in there and then they just go back upstairs and they just go about the rest of their day. They start destroying the evidence and they just go back to being like normal monks who also worship the devil. So some of the plot beats were actually, no, I'm not gonna spoil the ending of the movie because I do think it was a good movie and I do recommend it. So I'm not gonna spoil like the actual ending because I did enjoy it. And I think you should watch it. But in general, some of the plot beats were like kind of obvious. You know, there's like a scene where they're eating like some kind of like gross red like food that looks like fucked up borscht, but it's not fucked up borscht. And I'm just like, I see that and I'm thinking, oh, that's probably like, they're probably cannibals, right? And then, yeah, it turns out that they were eating people, so they were cannibalizing people. That was pretty obvious. You know, it was also kind of obvious where it's like, oh, a guy, he's like snooping around and someone finds him. Like that was pretty obvious. But you know, overall, just like the way the ending went, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I thought it was a pretty interesting movie. There's this scene at the end that I also thought was like unintentionally funny, where like all the monks start T-posing, and then they basically, I'm gonna try not to spoil it, but basically an unseen power forces the monks to start T-posing, and it like lifts them up and turns them upside down, so they're T-posing upside down. And I know it's supposed to be like, they're supposed to look like upside down crosses, right? But all I could see was just like, they're T-posing. He's forcing them to T-pose. And I thought that was funny. But, you know, like I said, overall, this was a pretty good movie. It was somewhat entertaining, and I would definitely recommend it. So, it's on Netflix. Check it out. Movie's called Hellhole in English. In Polish, translates to The Last Supper. But, yeah. I would give it probably a 6.5. No, maybe a 7 out of 10. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but overall, I thought it was entertaining for what it was. Alright, let's move into the next movie here. Let me bring the poster up on the screen. Switch this over. There we go. So, the next movie I watched is a Chinese movie, or it might be a Hong Kong movie. Yeah, okay, it's a Chinese movie. Sorry. It's a Chinese movie and it's called Warriors of Future. That's the translated title, at least. And this is basically a very action-packed sci-fi film. It says, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now, it says previously known as Virtus is a 2022 Hong Kong science fiction action film. Interesting. Because it says Hong Kong, but I noticed in the film it said a production company, or at least parts of it were filmed in Shenzhen. So I think it's probably a Hong Kong mainland dual production. I'm not too sure about the logistics on that, but it does say the film became the #1 highest grossing Chinese film in Hong Kong. So that is, that's something interesting, I thought. This movie was also on Netflix. I don't know when it got added to Netflix, but it is on there. You could probably find it somewhere else too if you don't have Netflix and you don't really want to get it. But anyway, so I thought it was pretty good for what it was. I wrote down a gritty sci-fi action movie that has a little bit of everything, but not enough of anything. And what I mean by that is that it's a very, very visually stunning film. It's very good, very, very good special effects. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got aliens, it's got cool robots, it's got power armor, it's got military, sci-fi, a little bit post-apocalyptic too, a little bit of everything in there. But at the same time, it felt that it was really lacking a certain, like, je ne sais quoi, shall we say. Basically, the plot, I'll read you the base plot on Wikipedia. In 2055, wars have ravaged the Earth due to prevalent use of advanced military robots, and global warming and population have destroyed the environment and ruined the atmosphere. As a result, many people are born with birth defects and die, and large domes known as skynets are built to protect the surviving cities on Earth. During the construction of Skynet over B16, which is part of the futuristic Hong Kong, a meteor from outer space lands in the city, and a giant alien plant, which was named Pandora, emerges and causes devastation to the area around it as it takes root. Pandora grows rapidly when there's rain, taking over more of the city every time it does so. So basically, a giant alien plant destroys the city and it grows every time there's rain. And the alien plant is, I should say, it also kills people too. It has little buds and it also has little alien guys that come out of it that can kill you. So it needs to go, right? It needs to go. So it is discovered that the plant can also purify the polluted air. The local military force, led by a scientist, finds a way to alter the plant's genome to stop Pandora from growing further, while also letting it continue to repair the atmosphere. So a group of soldiers, a team gets formed, with the task of locating the pistil of the plant and delivering a gene virus that will neutralize its growth and basically turn it into a harmless plant. So there is a plan B though, if their mission fails. And the plan B is to detonate a bomb over the plant, which would destroy it, but it would also kill about 160,000 people in the area. And they're also not planning on evacuating those people. So it's basically like, you either do the mission or we kill a bunch of people in the area. So the stakes are pretty high for them. Naturally, of course, the leader of the team kind of gets into a bit of an argument with his superiors about it, but in the end, they decide to go ahead and do it. And there are some very, very lovely, like, robots and futuristic military technology. I do like a good, like, stupid-looking military helicopter. You know, like, I wouldn't say that I'm, like, super into, like, futuristic military technology, but I like seeing them in movies. You know, it activates something in my brain where I see like a power suit or I see like a robot and I'm like, Ooh, cool robot, make thing blow up. It activates the neurons, you know? So that's what I liked about this movie, is that it had that little very juicy in terms of like the sci-fi-ness of it. It had a lot of action scenes in it as well, which were pretty well done. They were very well coordinated and very engaging action scenes, very fast paced. They were probably done with CG, but they were filmed in a way where it was kind of difficult to tell, like it didn't look super obvious CG. Like if I were to compare it to another movie that had very obvious CG fight scenes, like say Venom, or the sequel to Venom, it looked better than that. But one thing that I thought was weird about the movie is that like all the fight scenes, all the action scenes, all the like environmental shots and, you know, the shots of them around the city looked very good. But the scenes where people were just standing around and talking and doing nothing they didn't look good at all. Like the cinematography in like the non-action scenes was very like it was kind of sloppy. Like there's this one scene in the beginning of the movie where like this guy, he's turning around in his chair, you know, it does the dramatic, he's facing the other way, someone walks in the room and he's turning around his chair, but it's cut in a very weird way that makes it's not smooth. It's not a smooth like transition. And I know that's like a really weird nitpick, but like in a movie that is as like juicy and actiony as this, it's very strange that like the scenes that aren't actiony don't really look that good. They also reuse a couple shots in the beginning of the movie, which like, you know, that bothered me. But again, that's kind of like a nitpick. I'm actually curious as to what the budget was for this movie. Does it say? So it says the budget was 56 million Hong Kong dollars and the box office was 111.2 million Hong Kong dollars. So that's pretty good, I think. That's pretty good. Anyway, I need to continue on with talking about the plot. So basically, pretty much all of the aircrafts crash. Pretty much everything, all the aircrafts crash. And like 90% of the people involved in the mission die, except for this team of four, which later gets turned into 3 people. So they basically decide like, we are going to complete the mission on our own. So they battle their way through Pandora, through the aliens, which I actually quite like the design of the aliens. They were very insect-like, kind of like the District 9 aliens, but less humanoid looking. Kind of like a little bit praying mantis-like, very bug-like, but they attacked very fast. And overall, I think they look pretty good. Very nice looking aliens. I did like that about the movie. And, you know, they going through the city, they're fighting the aliens, and then they find out that the reason the planes crashed is because someone is trying to sabotage the mission. And they find out that the person who is sabotaging the mission is none other than the head of the, I believe it was the head of the military group. Was it not the colonel, but basically the guy who is in charge of them. And the guy who's in charge of them is also in charge of building the Skynet too. So he has a motive for the mission to fail. If Pandora is destroyed, then he can continue building his Skynet and they don't have to purify the Earth. So he has a financial motive for sabotaging the mission. And they basically cut off their comms, and he basically tells them like, okay, if you want to complete the mission, you have to destroy my robots. And you know, they have various fight scenes of them shooting at the robots and attacking them. Like I said, a lot of action scenes. It's definitely a movie that is more style than substance, you know? Like everything looks good, but below the surface, there's not really much there besides like the stereotypical sci-fi military action plot of like, oh, we have to destroy the thing for the good of everyone. yeah, let's do it, you know? And of course, you know, personal sacrifice too. That's a big one. A couple people sacrifice themselves in the course of the movie, so over the course of the movie, there's that too. But yeah, they defeat the robots, and in the end, they are able to complete the mission right before the bomb is deployed. Right before the bomb is deployed. Ludwig, welcome back. Good to see you again. So there's that. Overall, I would say this was a very visually, very juicy movie. If you like sci-fi action and you just want something that's fun and entertaining, then I would definitely recommend this one. If you're looking for something with substance, you're better off looking elsewhere. It's a little bit of a McDonald's movie, like I've said before, but it's not so like McDonald's-y in like the, oh, we're just here to sell toys kind of way. It's more of a McDonald's movie in like, it looks good, but there's not really a whole lot underneath the exterior, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about this movie. Like I said, Warriors of Future. Give it a watch if you want something. I would say I've never seen, what was that movie with Tom Cruise that was based off of that, the book All You Need Is Kill? I've never actually seen that movie, but it looks similar just in terms of like the power armor and the whole like, oh, it's a sci-fi action thing where we have to kill. So I would imagine that those are probably two very, very similar movies. So give it a watch. I would give it like an 8 out of 10. 7.5, 8 out of 10. Overall, pretty good. This is probably going to be a little bit, I've only been here for half an hour. Probably going to be a little bit shorter just because I don't really have as many movies to talk about today, but the last one, the last one I'm going to be talking about today, where did I put the posters? Oh yes, here we go. Is going to be the second movie in the Evil Bong franchise. I watched Evil Bong 2, King Bong. So I've decided to continue watching the Evil Bong movies after the first one. And I have to say, this one was it was slightly more entertaining than the first one. I think these movies are really gonna turn me into like a B movie lover, because like I've never really enjoyed B movies until I watched these movies, because there's just something that's so entertaining about the way people act in these movies. Like they're good. The acting in these movies is good in a sense that like the characters the acting matches the characters. Like the surfer guy acts how you would expect a stone surfer guy. Like, how much weed do you consume to watch this? That's a good question. I would imagine that these movies are probably meant to be... Oh, I got an alert. Okay, was that a follow? Hold on a minute. I think the poster is blocking my alerts. So I apologize. I don't know what just happened, but thank you for the follow if someone just followed. I just got an alert, but I can't see what it is. But yeah, no, I watched these movies completely sober. They would probably be more enjoyable if I was inebriated by substances. But yeah, so this is the direct sequel to Evil Bong 1. It takes place actually no, it takes place about 3 weeks after. It's legal where I live. It's legal where I live. That's all I'm gonna say. It's legal where I live. But anyway, it takes place about 3 weeks after the original Evil Bong movie, and I'll read you the summary on IMDb. So, stoners Larnell, Brett, and Bachman, who are the same characters from the first movie, all suffer from severe delayed side effects from smoking grass from the Evil Bong. The trio embark on a journey to the jungle in South America along with their nerdy friend, Alistair, who they actually recast in this movie, which was very funny to me. Like, there's a scene where Alistair, he like comes to the door of one of the main characters, and then the guy opens the door, And he's like, who are you? And Alistair says, it's me, Alistair. But it's like a completely different actor. And the other guy's like, oh, I didn't recognize you. So I just thought it was funny that they did a bit, even though they recast like one of the main characters. So they also, straight-laced Alistair and delivery guy. The delivery guy from the first movie is also in this movie, who is named Rabbit. And they go to the jungle in South America to find a cure for their various ailments. So the three guys are basically suffering from side effects, like exaggerated side effects from smoking marijuana. One of them is like morbidly obese and he can't stop eating. The other one is he like has narcolepsy. He keeps randomly falling asleep. And the other guy is like, how do I say this? Lowered sexual inhibitions. He like he's got like a boner all the time. That's basically his problem. It's funny because they go to like an unspecified South American country, but I'm pretty sure it's like Brazil. But yeah. So let me read my notes. So the gang suffers long-term side effects from the evil bong. Somehow they discover the bong's origin are related to an unspecified South American country, probably Brazil, so they go down there. They meet the movie's token female love interest who tells them she's trying to curate weed for medicinal purposes, which was very advanced, which is very, very advanced for the time. This movie came out in 2009, so of course they go to Brazil. They went to Brazil. They're the only people who actually went to Brazil. So 2009, talking about like medicinal marijuana, that's pretty advanced of them, I think. Pretty advanced. So they find out that the bong is related to a mythical tribe whose name I don't think I can say on Twitch. It's like a very crude slang for the tribe's name is a very crude slang for a woman's undercarriage, shall we say. So they do that, and they find the tribe as well as a wicked and powerful bong called King Bong. And this bong, it's the same bong in the poster. And it also talks, and it's also evil. So they kidnap, the tribe finds them first, and they kidnaps one of their buddies, the delivery guy, and they force him to smoke from the King Bong, which takes him into the bong dimension. And it seems like the thing in these movies is that the bong dimension is basically like a strip club. So this one is like a strip club that's like jungle themed, and it has like this is a movie that would not be able to be made in the year of our Lord 2023, because it has a lot of like things that would not be considered politically correct, I feel. So it's definitely a product of its time. Think like a tiki kind of luau with like strippers that are dressed like in really cheap like jungle woman tribal costumes. That's basically what you're getting out of this movie. So some of the funny stuff I think is this movie is that it's so obviously filmed in like someone's backyard. Like there's this shot and they're supposed to be in the jungle, right? And they're supposed to be like deep in the jungle, and you can see in the corner of the shot someone's house in the background. And it's like they're complaining like, oh, we're so hungry, we've been walking for hours, and there's just like this like house in the background, and it's like it's very clear they're probably in like someone's backyard in like Los Angeles or whatever. And they just like they throw up this really cheap, I mean obviously it's a B movie, so everything is just gonna be cheap, but it's very, very entertaining how low budget it is to me. So anyway, as their friend gets transported into the bong dimension, his buddies decide to go after him inside the bong world. And oh, this is after their ailments have been cured by the token female love's interests medicinal herb, shall we say. Which is, no, I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that. Someone, was it you who got me with that last time? Someone got me with that last time, Ludwig. I'm not falling for that again. You almost got me, but I'm not falling for that again. Anyway, there were some choice quotes in this movie. I have 2 choice quotes that I got. So, one of the main character, his grandpa is there. And in the first movie, his grandpa was in a wheelchair. But this movie, he can walk because the medicinal marijuana cured him of his gimp legs, I guess. And he's working together with the girl who's basically like a med student, and she wants to, like, you know, use her medicinal herb to, like, put the evil medicine, not the medicine, the pharmaceutical industry out of business, right? And so his grandpa is like pretending to help her. And he's actually planning on selling the weed, like, over state lines to get the money. And he has this really, like, choice quote that I'm gonna read for you. I'm gonna try to say it the way he says it. I'm not a doctor, I'm a capitalist, and I don't give 2 shits about saving lives. I want to sell this stuff for as much as I can. The guy who plays the grandpa is a really great actor. He's doing, like, a very dramatic, like, he's really putting his all into it. And I can appreciate that. Another quote that I like, and I'm gonna try to read it in the way it was said. It wasn't until you guys were killed in the bong world that you actually died? There's this one character in the movie who talks exactly like that. He's like, dude, I just got fired from my job at Sloppy Burger. And it's like, this is like the classic stoner archetype, right? Anyway, I don't actually have a whole lot to say about this movie because, like, you know, there's not a lot here. There's not a lot here. It's a pretty funny movie. I would recommend it if you want, like, a really stupid kind of dumb B movie to watch. Let me see if, like, okay, so Rotten Tomatoes 24%, IMDb 4.3 out of 10. That's more than Rotten Tomatoes. Let me see what the Wikipedia page says on it. Oh, it says they're in the Amazon, so they are in Brazil. But yeah, it says release date July 7th, 2009. These movies are all directed by a guy called Charles Band, who apparently does a lot of horror comedy movies. Wow, he's made a lot of movies. Holy shit, okay. Apparently there's like 8 of these Evil Bong movies, so I have like I have a long way to go if I want to see all of these. Oh, he's also done the Gingerbread Man, the Ginger Dead Man. Apparently there's like a crossover with like the Gingerbread Man and the Evil Bong. Oh, sorry, it's called the Ginger Dead Man. And it stars Gary Busey. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that too if it has friggin' Gary Busey in it. Alright. But, yeah, that's really all I've got for this week. I was planning on watching something last night. There was a documentary on 3 Mile Island that I was trying to watch last night, but I ended up just kind of like just playing on my phone the whole time while I had the movie running in the background, so I didn't really get much out of that. I also got like kind of bored because I was just like, it went to the episode where it was like all the hippies are like protesting against nuclear power, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to see this shit, you know? So I'm gonna try to rewatch the 3 Mile Island documentary. I also want to I should talk about TV shows I've been watching too, because so far I've just done these 2 streams on movies, and sometimes I don't really want to watch a movie, sometimes I want to watch like a show. So I feel like I'm gonna try to like have a show in there as well for my rotation. But yeah, that's really all I've got for today. I mean, let's see, tomorrow I'm gonna be doing, no, sorry, not tomorrow, Sunday I'm gonna be doing a drawing stream. I'm gonna be drawing more seals, some seal emotes for my Twitch and my Kick. I've also been thinking of like stuff I could do like a deep dive stream on, And obviously I'm gonna do I want to do some streams talking about seals, different types of seals. I think that would be interesting. But I also had like an idea, but I don't know how how much content I'd be able to milk out of this. Like doing a Jeremy Fragrance deep dive. And if you don't know who Jeremy Fragrance is, he's this very eccentric man who does fragrance reviews. You can find like clips of him on YouTube. Like he says a lot of things that like when taken out of context are very, very strange. And he's also had a very like interesting life. He used to be in like a boy band, and then he started doing fragrance reviews. So I don't know, I'll have to do some research to see if he's like interesting enough to devote like at least 1 hour to talk about. You know what, I should see when, oh, there is the Evil Bong 3 movie. It says it's 3D. It says it was shot in 3D and utilized scratch and sniff cards. This is from 2011. What 2011 movie had scratch and sniff cards? What? Alright, well, it's probably, I think it's on Amazon. I think I put it in my list, but Evil Bong, I know it's available. Some of them are available on Tubi. They're also available on Amazon as well. They have like a channel for Full Moon Entertainment. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, so I'll have to like double check on that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me today. Have you guys been watching anything or seeing anything interesting lately? There's also, let me look at my list here. I wrote some stuff down. Oh yes, earlier today I hate making shorts. I hate making shorts, right? But I decided I was going to try to make my shorts a little bit more interesting. So I downloaded, or I was looking for some sound effects I could find, like whatever the really popular kind of zoomer sound effects are. You know, I don't use TikTok, I don't watch shorts, so I have no idea what's really like popular in the shorts meta right now. But my last short that I released got like quite a few views, and it got me like a couple followers on YouTube as well. So I guess I'm like shorts pilled now. I still hate making them though. But that's something that I'm gonna work on. Let me see, is there anyone I could raid into? Yeah, I think there's, okay, I think we're gonna raid into someone actually. We're gonna do a raid here. So who do we got? We've got Tipanya playing Yakuza Kiwami 2, and we've got Coco Pimento who's playing Peglin. Let's see, what the hell is Peglin? No idea. Why don't we do, let's see, they're both around the same. How does Yakuza Kiwami 2 sound? I've been interested in the Yakuza series, so I think we're gonna head over there. Doing something you hate for views. Welcome to the world of content creator. Yeah, I know. When I was making that short, I felt like I was dying. I was just like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. I want to like bang my head against a brick wall. That's how much I hate doing shorts. But yeah, I think we're gonna raid into Tipanya, who is doing Yakuza Kiwami 2. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. And let me start the raid. Let me get us in there real fast. But oh, I forgot to show you guys my schedule for next week. Oh well. I'm just doing it, like I said, I'm just doing another stream on Sunday. But yeah, let's head over there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're from. And I will see you all next time. Let's head over there. Bye-bye.